Go.
Welcome back to another episode on These Two Plus Me. I don't know why I'm here yet again. I did tell you last week.
This is the last time you're here, Wolfie. This is it. This is our goodbye.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. But make sure you like.
Don't count your chickens, son. Don't count your chickens.
Exactly.
All right, last minute winner. But make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're sub to all the channels as well, because there's a lot of positive feedback apart from on me in the comments I've been seeing on.
As per usual.
Nothing's changed. So, boys, another week goes by, and I'm guessing I'm gonna like preempt the agendas here. You two are gonna say nothing's changed, but we got a win, so we're still in it. Nikki, you're going to say you got a last-minute winner, that you showed a lot of fight. And I'm going to say, why am I here? So,
thanks for joining us today. It's been a great show, and we'll see you next week.
But guys, let's start with you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Because Lawless was going crazy at some points. I saw the highlights of his watch-along. You took the lead, put you 4 points clear of Spurs. Then Spurs scored around the same time. I think that Everton equalized there or thereabouts, which put you back into the bottom three. And then these two were doing, flips and backflips and everything. And then Callum Wilson, who Lawless hates, came on and scored the winner. And that put you back out of the relegation zone, then back in it. Honestly, it felt like a final day watching it. It was quite entertaining because I'd done my business on Friday. But how were your emotions, Nikki? I mean, that was a crazy 90 minutes.
Funny enough, I wasn't there at all. I was at Wembley.
Oh, yeah, you were at the FA Cup.
Yeah, I went to the FA Cup game. I was working at the time, so I was there. But I was nervous. I was watching it on the stream at Wembley, and as you know, the signal drops in and out at Wembley when there's a big crowd. So at one point, we're 1-0 up. I see the goal, and then I've lost connection for ages, and then all of a sudden I come back. Spurs are now winning, and we are now drawing. And I'm like, what the fuck has happened in the last 10 minutes, And then all of a sudden, as I've done that, I switched it back on, and Wilson scores. But these are relegation battles. These are what happens. It goes round and round in circles. 1 minute you're out of it, 1 minute you're back in it, 1 minute you're out of it, 1 minute you're back in it. And, I think there's a few twists and turns to come yet. And I will agree with you here, Wolfie. I think you're out of it now. I think you've just accumulated enough points. I can't see them boys getting many more points, to be quite honest, with all the injuries that they're picking up, and even the level of performance against a very fucking tepid fucking Wolves side. To be quite honest with you, it was because I was watching that as well. It was painful to watch. You must be fucking. But yeah, listen. Regardless of what the performances are, the results are what counts, and we all got a result this weekend. Which, I won't say it's back to square one, because I think you're out of it now, because I don't think there's enough games left for them to catch you. I think we could catch you, but I don't think they will.
Yeah,
that Forest game proper pissed me off, man. That proper pissed me off. I sat down Friday night, football, Premier League Friday night. All right, let's do it. Sunderland away. Surely Sunderland can get something. I was about to turn it on, and then the baby started crying. Got the notification, 1-0 to Forest. All right, fine. Put the baby to sleep.
Why was Sim crying? What was going on?
Put the baby to sleep. 1-0 to Forest. I get back, about to put on the game, put it on. I see 4-0 to Forest. I'm like, that's the quickest I've ever turned on and turned off a game ever in my life. I just couldn't believe it.
It was crazy. I mean, all three of you said here Forest weren't going to win. I did warn you we would with our form. But yeah, we were near perfect.
But you couldn't fucking have preempted that result. Nobody could have preempted that result.
5-0.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but yeah, I was fairly confident it was going to be 5-0. But
even 4-0 at half time, I was watching your stream, Wolf. You weren't sure you were going to win.
I'm never sure, man. Like when the fifth went in, I calmed down a bit, and that was in the 90th.
5-0 in stoppage time. Okay.
It's like all right. I think we're over the line here. No, I've seen some crazy Forest games in my time. But no, we played well. The thing is, I'm intrigued to talk about the Spurs side of things, because you boys sat here last week doing your whole hopium copium. Our performance was fantastic. All right, we conceded a last-minute equaliser against Brighton, but the performance was performance. Let's take that into the next 4 or 5 games and see how we go. I agree with Nikki. I watched your game. it felt to me like it was a preseason friendly. There was no drive. There was no, real motivation to go and just throw the kitchen sink at them. And then obviously you got your corner goal. I think Tell was the only one who showed a little bit of drive. Just winning that corner wasn't his to win. And that's what I think's been missing for you guys. And you got that in Tell, and that created the moment that you scored from. But how did you read it? Because clearly the points are more important, but you guys have been talking about the performances, so I can't let that one slide.
Fair. I mean, first of all, football's a lot harder when you have to keep to the rules and you're not playing volleyball. I think football's a lot harder when you have to do that. Right, Nikki? Am I right? I would say the performance was terrible. I think everyone watching that game had that feeling of dread. I think you have to understand the pressure on Tottenham going into that game, knowing that this was our most winnable game. We haven't won in 15 games. We are... I don't know if it filtered through to the players or not, that West Ham were 1-0 up as well. So knowing that if we hadn't won, West Ham were pulling further away from us, we clearly were not confident in going into this game. I know we had a good game against Brighton, but you got to remember in that Brighton game, we did concede a last-minute goal, and that really set us back. And obviously, even though there was an injection of hope after that game, at the end of the day, the last thing that did happen in that game was us conceding a last-minute equaliser and stopped us winning our first game of 2026, as we lost Wolfie. But there was also always a feeling of one moment in that game, and that could be enough, because Wolves were not really offering much. Wolves were not really doing much. And we just needed to find something. And even though we weren't playing well, in a weird way, the way that we won might have been the way we needed to win, to show that we can go from now to the end of the season, even if we're not playing well, with the hope that we can scrape, we can scrap, we can get wins over the line, even if the football isn't there, because we're going to need to do that with the injuries that we keep getting. I think even after the game, it was a weird one for Tottenham fans, because we won the game 1-0. It was our first win in 2026, and naturally there's going to be a lot of relief. There's going to be a lot of kind of just joy, just because we haven't seen our team win in 4 months it is, into the first win of 2026. So there's naturally going to be joy there. But even after the game, the fact that West Ham won in the last minute, and we've lost Solanke and Javi to injuries, it was kind of like a feeling of we did win, but at what cost? That was kind of the overriding feeling that we had at the end of the game. But you also can't discount the power of a win, even with the injuries, and that can't be discounted like for nothing, because that win, just getting that off our back, should breed some sort of belief that we're still in this fight, we're not giving up, and we can still win games of football even with those injuries.
It was a tough one for me to watch, because I'm watching it, and it must have been tough for you to watch, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, did they not watch the West Ham game? Did they not sit there and study what Wolves done against West Ham? Once that first goal goes in against Wolves, they seem to collapse. And the thing I was so shocked to see from you boys is that the lack of sort of, what's the word? Any sort of like urgency to do anything. Like, you were so happy just to keep the ball and, to do not a lot with it. And, as you said, Wolves offered nothing. So it wasn't like, even as you went into the game, I was thinking to myself, they've got to start going for it soon. They've got to start. And it took to 82 minutes to get that one goal, and it was a scrappy goal. And listen, a goal's a goal. And at the end of the day, and I'll attest this to anybody, at the end of the day, it isn't the performances, because we didn't have a great performance either. We got the win, but we weren't great. It is nervy, but you've got to go for it. It looked like you were scared to lose.
But you got to remember, Nicky, you got to look at the players that Spurs have available. We just don't have players that are able to break down opposition defenses. Javi was having a bit of an off game, and he's the one that we kind of look to and lean on. And with him going down injured and Solanke going down injured in the first half, it's just like, who do we actually turn to? Who is going to be that player to take the game to the opposition? And that's going to be the same in our next 4 games as well, because no Javi now for till midway through next season. No Solanke probably.
That is I'll tell you what, enemies or not, mate, that's a nasty injury. I've had one of them myself, man. I wish him all the best, because that is a fucking...
We've had 3 of them this season alone.
Yeah, that's a difficult injury to get past, man. It's horrible.
It's mental what is going on at Tottenham with these injuries. It really is. And that's going to be the thing that ultimately sends us down, in my opinion, because I think if we didn't have this massive injury crisis, I don't think we are where we are, even with the manager situation and everything that goes with that. So, look, Saturday was such an up and down emotional ride. I've never actually witnessed a day like that in a relegation battle before. It was just mad to go 1-0 down. You're suddenly 4 points away, and then to level it up back to 2 points, and then then we win. We get the winner, and then it's 2 points, and then Everton score, and we're out the relegation zone. Then West Ham's. It was just nuts. Everything about Saturday was just nuts. But I felt after the game, my initial feeling was, even we've won, I'm dreading relegation more than ever after that win, because of the injuries, and also because West Ham winning. I didn't have West Ham winning. It was a shock that you did beat Everton, in my opinion. So it's going to give West Ham a hell of a lot of confidence going into these last few games as well. So I'm actually more resigned to relegation after the win than I was before.
It's disappointing. Wolfie's going to reboot. He's coming back in a second, so we'll talk about a little bit about Forest. But do you just think that because I mean, I don't know whether it's just copium, but the amount of fans that are in our streams and stuff that are saying that they're going to be winning the next 4 games and all that. I mean, is it just fucking hope? Because I haven't seen. I don't know what they're watching, but delusion, yeah.
It is, because if anyone watching the game and who have watched Tottenham over the last few months, no one can sit here and say we're going to win the next 4. Add to that all the injuries, as Ben has explained, that we are getting. Even the players that you would hope could step up in these big moments. Xavi was stepping up against Brighton. Solanke is a guy who is one of our more important players, can score goals. They're now going down with injuries. Our captain has gone down for the rest of the season, and Romero as well in the last few weeks. Since De Zerbi, by the way, has come into this football club, we have had about 7 injuries, and he's only been here 3 weeks. We've lost Romero, we've lost Kudus, we've lost Vicario, we've lost Sarr, we've lost Solanke, we've lost Udogie, and we've lost Xavi. It's insane. It's insane. How is any club supposed to keep up with that? How is any cope with that level of injuries? And that's on top of an already decimated team. An already decimated team. You're adding 7 injuries to a guy who's only just walked into the football club a few weeks ago, expecting to come and fix all the issues that we have. And he's coming up with plans. He's coming up with solutions. And each week, those solutions are getting ripped up and getting ripped away from him, and getting taken away from him. And he's going to have to come up with new solutions. And that all takes time a lot of the time. Sometimes you come up with a solution. Maybe it takes a week or so to get bedded in. And then you start to getting results. But each week, he's having to come up with something new. And it's like, anyone looking at that situation, you can't really believe that that's a good enough situation, especially with the form West Ham are on. Obviously, Forest are now getting well clear. And look, even just from a momentum point of view, it doesn't look good for us. And how many more injuries we're going to pick up, because we're going to have to rely on other players now, and we don't have any. We're running out of options very quickly. We have 3 fit forwards now. There's even rumours today that Moani picked up a hamstring injury. Thankfully, that's turned out not to be true. But for an hour or so, it looked like we'd even lost another attacker. So at the moment, we've got Moani, who doesn't look like he wants to be here. We have Tell, who's a young attacker, and we have Richarlison. Those are our 3 fit attackers now left. Who knows if they're going to stay fit? Richarlison's historically injury prone as well. So the whole thing is how are we supposed to cope with this level of injuries? Now, the only thing that did give me a little bit of hope is the fact that we did win, and that is our first win in 2026. We have to see what kind of reaction to that this has.
118 days.
118 days. You've got to realise the mental toll that is going to have on a team, the fact that you went so long without a win, and the pressure that builds. So the relief of that pressure, that will give some sort of positivity. And the fact we did scrap and we did fight for a victory, maybe we can take that sort of mentality. We have been very good from set pieces this season. That is true. I think we're second to Arsenal when it comes to set piece goals. So if we can just keep that kind of defensive solidity we've been showing the last few games, maybe nick a goal or 2 from a set piece, there is maybe still a very, very thin pathway out of this. But if you are looking at this objectively, if you're maybe a guy, let's say you're a guy who's setting up an algorithm, or as a statistical specialist, and you're looking at everything on the pitch, all the stats, all the trends, you would say 100% Tottenham are going down, then Tottenham are not making this. But there's maybe that win. The power of a win can be more powerful than people give it credit for.
I think winning breeds confidence, and our runs started with a win at QPR at home, a scrappy win. It was it wasn't easy, you know, against the first division team. And then that's where the run started. We go on and we beat you guys, and then we've just picked up win after win. So but the only thing I would say is there enough left? You know, if we pick up a win this week and you pick up a win this week, we're down to 3. We got Arsenal. And it's going to be a very, very, very fucking difficult day in your studio, knowing who you fucking want, you know, especially if they're going for the title.
That is going to be 90 minutes of hell, that game.
You know what I mean? So it's, you know, it's a tough one. But at the end of the day, I think Wolfie attested to it. We're not back to square one because we've got less games. And the games that we've got coming up, we've all got difficult games now. You know, there is no easy game left for anybody. You haven't won at home for fuck knows how long. I think it's 2 all season. We've got Brentford away, who's tough. Then we've got a team chasing the title, and you've got Leeds, who, you know, that I'm sure they'd love to stick the dagger in both of us because we both got them. So it's not going to be fucking easy from here on. And I think that the emotional roller coaster that we both felt on Saturday, I think it's going to come again and again and again and again. To be honest with you, it's not over. But statistically, I think it was Opta. Wolfie's going to come back in a second. We'll talk about Forest, but statistically, I think Opta's giving you 54% and us 35%.
I think that's low. I think that's low
as well. I think it's low, but that's what statistically they've got.
What I would say, I think if we can keep ground with you this weekend, match your result. We go to Villa, which is obviously a really hard game. However, they are sandwiched in between you European semi-finals, so you don't know what kind of impact that can have. You go away you're away to Brentford, or you're at home to Brentford?
We're away.
Yeah, and I saw Brentford last night against United. They look good.
Yeah,
they look good. So it's 2 very difficult games. If we can match your result, then go into that Leeds at home for us, and you play Arsenal, then that gives me a little bit of hope, because I think that Leeds game is massive. Because if they beat Burnley at home this weekend, I think that's it. They're mathematically, or more or less mathematically
more or
safe.
less, yeah.
So
I mean, there's still
the
people talking about Leeds, and there's still, because I think the thing about Leeds is they've got so many people, so many teams, around them. So they could mathematically lose them games and then keep on losing ground. So they're not out of it per se. But
if they beat Burnley, that should be that. If they lose to Burnley, then fine, they're back in it.
Yeah, but
if they beat them, which they probably will,
it's so tight down there today. But let's talk about Forest while Wolfie ain't here. What did you think about Forest? Because I'll be honest with you, that performance for me blew him out of the water. And I've got to say, and this is a guy that you missed out on, Morgan Gibbs-White again, he's pulling up trees for me.
It was one of those games I was watching. It was one of those games, though. Like, I thought, obviously, Forest played well. Don't get me wrong, and credit to them. But it was one of those games where everything they hit went in. Yeah. I think they had 5 shots on target, 5 goals.
And Sunderland were just making so many uncharacteristic mistakes out the back, and it's just everything went right for Nottingham Forest on the day. That's the reality. Don't take away from their performance, because they were brilliant.
Wolfie, we're talking about Forest, mate. He's calling. I don't know why he's calling. Wolfie?
Mate, I can't even get signal.
He can't get signal.
Everything's on.
I think Wolfie's just dipped. Wolfie's like, I'm not in this conversation. And
I think it's exactly what Forest are doing. They want to leave the relegation scrap now. I think they're out of it. But yeah, I agree. But it was like one of them 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and I was thinking, Jesus Christ, what is going on here?
And now how many unbeaten? So they're 3, and they've won 3 of their last 5. They're 5 unbeaten. They're picking up points at an incredible rate. And as well, considering they've got the Europa League coming up, they needed these wins as well right now to take the pressure off them going into the fight, so they can have a bit of focus on that Europa League. So everything's definitely going in their favour. It's going to be interesting to see how these Europa League games against Villa do affect them. But the reality is, now they've given themselves a decent buffer. You can't see them not picking up any points between now and the end of the season, albeit you can maybe argue they have the toughest games. But
the thing is, right, if Spurs and West Ham somehow do win this weekend, we both play before Nottingham Forest. Yeah. So that means the gap will be very short whilst Nottingham Forest kick off. Table. They play away at Chelsea, and you never know what kind of... I mean, Chelsea were... I mean, they didn't put the best performance in the semi-final, but they got the job done.
Yeah.
So it's not a give-me game anymore.
let's have a quick look at the table. The thing is, right, let's have a look at Villa first, because we've got Villa, you've got Villa, we've got Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford are still up there within the chance of Europe, right? So they're one win away from getting into Europe. I don't know, Bournemouth, but Villa, they win this week. That's their Champions League place pretty much cemented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is dangerous for you.
But it is sandwiched in between two Europa League semi-finals.
Yeah, but I think that Champions League game just takes priority because it's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think
money.
so.
You got to remember as well, the next game after Tottenham in the league is Burnley for
Yeah.
Aston Villa. So
Okay.
are they looking at that Burnley game being like, you know what, let's focus on that game?
They're 8 points clear. You would think they should feel pretty secure right now.
You'd think, but I mean, stranger things have happened.
But here's the reality, Nicky. Even if they did play their B team, it's still getting. They've got a strong second team or strong players to come in. They have. So even if they did rest players, I don't give us that much more of a chance of winning the game, to be honest. What I think if you beat Brentford, if you actually win that game, I think the psychological damage that will do to us, we might crumble under that pressure. So if we need to win to keep pace with you, then I can see us really struggling to get a result. If you drop points though, and if a win, actually we have like something tangible to get from a win, like we could actually get above you or really put pressure on you, then I think I can see us maybe upping our game that little bit more and being a bit more excited going into the game rather than fearing about what will happen if we lose. You could be excited about what will happen if we win, right? So I think there's that psychology could change a lot if you drop points. But if you win, I think that would really screw us. I could see us losing.
You think that's it? If we win and you lose, you think?
I think if you
100%.
win, I think if you win, we will lose. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah.
I think if you drop points, I think we might get something.
All right, we'll have to shorten the show today because Wolfie's dropped out. He said the old Vodafone network has dropped out, but he
Great
said,
advert for Vodafone.
Huh?
Great advert for Vodafone.
Great advert for Vodafone. Yeah, well done, Vodafone. He said that the whole thing's dropped out, but so we'll wrap it up in about 5 minutes because we can't really talk about Forest. But going forward, boys, let's have a look at the fixtures. So the 4 fixtures, where can you see you getting some wins from?
I mean, it's tough, man. But the thing is, right, our game against Chelsea has just been rescheduled for the Tuesday night after the FA Cup semi-final. So that is 3 days after Chelsea play the FA Cup semi-final. So what kind of final? What kind of state are Chelsea going to be in? I don't know. But they're going to want to do everything that they can to try and get us relegated. You know what Chelsea are like.
And they've not been great. They've not been great.
They've not been, but we've never been great. Even in our good times, we've never been great at Stamford Bridge. It's always one of those grounds where we just can never, ever get wins. So I can't see us winning there, even with the gap between the final. I think where we're going to get our points, we have to get points against Leeds when you play Arsenal. That is imperative. No matter what kind of Leeds turn up, we have to get the win that day. And I'm gonna back us to shithouse a win against Leeds. I'm going to say a point against Aston Villa. Actually, no, I think we lose against Aston Villa. I really do. And if we lose and you win, then that's it. It's done. And Everton is just a Hail Mary on the last day of the season. Who knows what can happen?
Moisey. Yeah, he could Moisey, for us, obviously, he's going to have a massive play. But all right, let's talk about the West Ham game a little bit. The basketball comment. I see you were fuming about this.
Volleyball.
I was fuming. I was going mad. Absolutely mad. Like these decisions, you could say, VAR and referees have been terrible this season, but decisions have been going against Tottenham all season into a big, big way. And I just can't. Even when we're not playing, even in the game against on the weekend, they should have had a sending off. Did you see that challenge from Andre on Bissouma?
Yep.
That was 100% a sending off. So every single game we're getting these big decisions going against us, and now it's creeping into your games as well.
But I showed you this just before.
Yeah.
I think that was a balance. I agree with you. That 100% for me was a penalty. He's grabbed around him. Even if, people are saying, well, how can he see the ball? Well, you should be fucking grabbing someone in the... Oh, Wolfie's back. You should... Here he goes. Jesus. Look at that.
I don't know what's going on, boys. Sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Just about, mate. Just about. But yeah, but people saying like, you know, he couldn't have seen the ball. How was it deliberate handball? You shouldn't be grabbing people in the box. And I've been saying that for a long, long time. And people going, yeah, but it goes on. But it shouldn't be going on. And if you're grabbing someone around a box and you're knocking the ball away from their chest and knocking it out of play,
getting an
it's a fucking
advantage.
penalty. You know what I mean? It can't be nothing else but a penalty. But I would
And he
say,
wasn't in a natural position or anything. It was a
no,
very
no,
unnatural
he's up
position.
there. He's
He's
grabbing
up
him
there
with-
and he's literally pushed the ball away like he's playing handball, volleyball,
so,
or whatever.
So I agree. But do you agree with this? They balance themselves out because I'll tell you what, the challenge from Pickford, and not a lot of bit has been made out of this. I see Tony Bellew was tweeting about how corrupt referees are. I've just shown you this tackle from Pickford. Red card and a penalty all day long. Out of control, 2 feet off the floor, studs up, going into ankles, diving in feet first to ankles. When you think about what you see in the middle of pitches and what people get sent off for and how people get injured, that is that's got to stop for me for goals. They get away with way too much.
You might have a case there in your game. It might have balanced itself out. But people have been telling me about refereeing decisions are going to balance themselves out all season for Spurs, and they've never. The balance of Spurs is so lopsided. They haven't balanced its way out for us. We just keep getting
how
wrong
can you be
decisions
talking
after
about
wrong decision after wrong
decisions?
decision.
How can you be
That's what
talking
we're
about
talking about.
decisions after what you did against Liverpool a season or two ago?
You're talking about a season or two ago. What are you talking about?
2 years ago.
No, I'm just saying, I have no sympathy. I didn't hear the Spurs fans coming out saying, oh, let's replay the match and do this. We got sorted out. No, this is football, boys.
We all said
This
it.
is what
We all said
happens
it
at
was
the
a
bottom
terrible
end.
decision at the time.
Mate, this
But
is
this
what
has happened
happens at the
all
bottom
season,
end.
Wolfie. It's all season.
Are you going to go
it's
down? Hold on. Are
disgraceful.
you going to go down because of refereeing decisions or because you're shit?
We're going down because we're shit, and we're going down because it's all mixed in together. All mixed in
Injuries,
together.
Welcome to a relegation fight, boys. Welcome to a relegation fight. This is what
Where's
happens.
the decisions against you every week? Where's the decisions against you every
Look
week?
at that damn
You always put out the catalogue. Like, seriously,
bullshit.
Nicky, we got to educate these guys, man. Me and Nicky could sit here, game in, game out. We'd end up with too much content having to talk about decisions that go against us. This is what happens.
Wolfie,
You
it's
just suck it
every
up, you
week,
get on
mate.
with it. Score an extra goal. Make sure you got a bigger margin against your opponent.
Well, we
That's
did on
what
the
you need to
weekend and
do.
we won. We did on the weekend and we won. But
You know
every
what?
single week, there's massive decisions against us. Massive.
The last VAR decision I've really questioned and I was really annoyed about, Wolfie, funny enough, was the one against Forest. The one where the keeper punched someone in the face. And,
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was assault. That was assault. Yeah.
And it was soft because it was the ball was there to be won. He can't. How can he fucking stop himself from fucking when he's already like that after the ball's been headed away when he didn't know that someone. I thought that was soft, and then I was whinging and moaning about it. And then I thought, do you know what? What's the point? What's the point in whinging and moaning about it? At the end of the day, you've lost, and the decision hasn't been given. You just got to get on with it. I do understand where you're coming from, but you know, it's easy to. I think it's easier to look at that when you're at the bottom. Because if that penalty gets given, right, but you had already beat us at White Hart Lane, it doesn't fucking matter. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter. So it's the results that make you look at it and go, "Oh, this is it." At the end of it, could have been 3-1 West Ham.
When we're playing with such fine margins at the bottom as we are, these things are always going to be hyper focused on, aren't they? That's the reality, I think. And so the importance gets heightened. That's what. Yeah,
what's
you're
going
absolutely
on.
right about that.
It's true, but like in this day and age when there's cameras everywhere and you got VAR, how are they coming to a wrong decision more like every single week? These massive decisions are going against us and they're so wrong. And VAR is literally watching it time and time again and saying, "Nah, you're right."
But go back to what Wolfie was saying there 2 years ago. It was going for you.
That one decision went for us. Yeah, that one decision.
That was one hell of a decision.
Yeah, it was. It was probably the worst one of the lot.
You should have had a red card against us, if I remember. Was it last season? It might have been last season where Maddison punched Yates or something at White Hart Lane.
Maddison never punched. You're just making things up. You're making.
I'm not. But we won the game. It's like, despite you getting the refereeing decisions, we still went on and won the game. Or did we? I can't remember. But there was an incident with Yates and Maddison where he should have been sent off. I didn't hear you lot crying about that one. This is football, boys. You've been in the game long enough. This is how it works. You'll never like the decision.
We don't like
And-
it, lad. Down here, this is not where we should be.
This is
Don't
not
worry,
our
you'll-
natural habitat,
Exactly.
people.
You was here
This is not
last
our
year,
natural
boys.
habitat.
You was here last year. Don't worry
Not
about
like
it.
this.
Not
You was
like
here
this,
last year.
guys. Not like
that.
this.
Mickey, that was an
Manchester
anomaly.
fans were all telling me last year that it's an unnatural position. It'll never happen again.
Anomaly.
You were 17th last year. At the moment, you're fucking 18th. So yeah, they're right. It wouldn't happen again. You fucking finished lower.
Nicky,
Yeah,
you know what's
last year,
funny?
last year we won the Europa League, mate.
Yeah,
Mickey, you know what's funny?
We won the Conference League. It don't mean shit. We're still in the same position.
Nicky, what's funny is I remember I was doing a stream with the boys towards the start of the season, and I said to them, "You guys should be happy with finishing 16th. That would be progress for you." The offense they took, their comments
Oh.
took, and everything. Right now, would you take the 16th I offered you at the start of the season and see it as
You know
progress?
Mate,
what?
I'll take 17th right now.
You know what? Those 10 minutes we were 16th when we were beating Brighton. Oh, they were glorious.
Bliss.
Absolute bliss. Take me back. Take me back.
All right, let me put this out there as well, right? How pissed off are you going to be if you lot go down and they win? Forest win the Europa League.
That's not going to happen. They're going out to
Oh,
Villa.
fuck, mate.
Tell you right.
I'm telling you
Ain't
now.
gonna happen,
When I see them
Nathan.
go
Ain't
to
gonna
Sunderland,
happen.
smacking them 5-0, Aston Villa don't look too much of a fucking uphill
Oh,
struggle,
the
to be honest.
result flattered them. It flattered them, the 5-0.
Flattered them.
Did
Did the Fulham result flatter Villa?
Probably.
I'm just saying, Nicky, this scenario is playing itself out just how Marinakis wanted it. He stopped them getting Gibbs White. He's going to relegate them and take their trophy. And then, I think Marinakis himself, the way he's made.
And he picked up their manager.
Wolfie, you've been begging for Gibbs White to leave all season.
And he picked up their manager and had a little
Yeah,
look
you
through and
have.
thought, is he good enough? No, I don't fancy him. He can go on a scrap heap as well.
And he
he
even
was the one
offered
that
them
won you the
Sean
trophy.
Dyche. He even offered them Sean Dyche, and Sean Dyche rejected
Jesus.
him. I'm just saying, if Forest win this Europa League and you go down, oh my God, man, you guys won't be hearing from me.
Can we
You'll
have
be
a
hearing
serious
from
question
Marinakis.
about the future? Can we have a serious question about the future, right? What does relegation mean to us all, right? Let's have that discussion. And what are we going to, if you survive, if any of us survive, what does the future hold? Are we going to be back where we are next year, or is it just a one-off for you guys?
I mean, I would love to sit here and say it's a one-off because I think we got De Zerbi, we got a good manager. Hopefully we can build off it, but you got to look at what kind of players Spurs are going to be able to attract with being 17th and you know, on the cusp of relegation the year after. So it's
Cowards,
so hard to say.
like Kudus. Yeah.
Kudus is one of our better players. It's so hard to say it.
He's one of the more committed ones.
Yeah. It's so hard to say what next year looks like. You know, you got teams like Man United last year who had a terrible season. They were able to attract players like Mbeumo and Cunha. Are Spurs going to be able to attract a similar caliber of player, or are we going to be going for bargain bucket players? You know, we've already been said that if we stay up, we're getting Andy Robertson at left wing on a free transfer and Marcos Senesi on a free transfer. You know,
James Tavernier was there.
James Tavernier. Like, I don't know what kind of players we're going to be able to.
Not exactly
John
Champions
Stones,
League
apparently
form,
we're
is
gonna
it?
go for John Stones, 31-year-old John Stones.
You know what I mean? It's going to have to be building blocks to get ourselves back up there again.
Yeah, I think the financial hit of not being in Europe again, overall not again, but not being in Europe for next season. Already there's talk within the club. They're saying the financials are not as strong as publicly has been made out, and we're going to have to, you know, tighten the purse strings of it, even though consistently ever since these new owners have been saying, yeah, we're here to be ambitious, we're here to spend money, we're going to break the wage structure, we're going to, you know, spend all this cash, and now all of a sudden they're changing their tune. So I think there is definitely a fear next season, especially given that last season, you know, you would, as Ben said, you'd hope that's going to be a one-off, and the fact that it wasn't a one-off, that's going to signal to a lot of these top players who we hope to attract, like, these guys actually are a bit of a clown show, these guys actually aren't serious, like they're the fear of them being relegated is very, very real for those kind of clubs, whereas with Man United, they were very serious about not letting that happen again, and they're now well clear of that and back in the position they belong to be. Also, you have to say, I don't know if this is in players' minds, but the amount of ACL injuries we've getting, this is now 3 ACL injuries. We're getting a lot of, we've had also not just 3 ACLs, but Kudus is now out for 6 months. We've missed Bentacle for 3 months. We're getting lots. This is going to be, once he's back fit, he would have been out for 6 months.
Jesus.
So,
is it true he refused an operation? because it was coming through
Apparently,
Spurs.
that's the rumours.
Allegedly.
He wants to be fit for the World Cup. Romero's obviously just got a serious knee injury. Last season, we had Madison and Kulusevski also picking up very serious knee injuries, ruling themselves out free. And Dragashin also picked up an ACL. He's just come back. At what point do you think players look at this and think, if I go there, am I risking getting an ACL? We've had 6 in 2 years. At what point do players actually put that into the equation when joining a club that they don't seem to know how to handle knee injuries? Or a lot of people who go there seem to get serious knee injuries. There's
When
a
he
lot
put
of
the
talk
magic
about.
sponge out,
Don't give them more ammo, man.
I'm just
Don't
talking
give
about
them
when he
more
put the
ammo.
magic
there's a lot of
sponge on
conspiracy.
Javi Simmons' knee, I was like, oh
Yeah, Jav,
my
there's a lot of
God.
conspiracies, by the way, about our retractable pitch, whether that's causing
I've
knee
heard
injuries
that.
because of the thin soil.
You were away
and
from
because
home.
players-
How can you blame the pitch? You were away. It wasn't your
I
pitch.
don't know. I'm just
It's
laying
wear,
out
saying
it's,
a
wear, it's wear and
potential-
tear,
a
isn't
potential-
it? It's
A
wear and
potential
tear.
build-up from
Yeah,
playing
it's
on the
wear-
same pitch. You
wear
look
and
at Real
tear.
Madrid; they've also had 3 ACLs this year, and they also got a retractable pitch.
So when you look at that, do you think that goes into players' minds when they look at to join clubs like, if I go there, am I risking getting an ACL? Do you reckon that is
Do
something
you know
in their
what?
mind?
I would be more asking the question of the fucking people that are in charge of it and saying, should we take away this retractable pitch and fuck off the NFL and fuck off the Beyonce concerts and fuck off, because this is a fucking football stadium and we need to be able to play football in it.
Yeah.
I agree. But I'm just saying, when we're looking at potential signings, do you reckon those players look at that situation and think, if I go there, am I going to get an ACL and miss another year of my career?
If I was a signing, I would be sending specialists in there to go and have a look at that pitch and go and have a look at that fucking training ground and go and have a look at that medical team and see what the fuck's going on. That's what I would be saying.
I
Before
think
I
you're
even
looking at
fucking
it too
even
deep.
turn up there.
I think you're looking at it too deeply, Nicky.
Sorry?
If I was there at camp, I'd just be saying, go look at the table. And that would deter me from joining Spurs. Like nothing else.
I understand. Look, I mean, yeah, you've got to say, like, traditionally they're not in this position, but the fact that they found themselves in this position, the fact that they've had so many injuries, I would be going in there and saying, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Because they are a big enough club to attract big players. They've got big players there now. Big money players that are there now.
Nicky,
Whether they
you say
fucking want
that,
to play,
Nicky. Nicky, sorry to interrupt. You say that. What is the last major signing that Spurs signed that every other big club or a couple of the big 6, if you like?
Last
were
summer,
involved?
we even signed Kudus from West Ham. We signed
Who
Javi
else
Simmons.
was in
who was
for
very
Kudus?
highly
Who else
sought
was in
after.
for Kudus?
Javi Simmons is the one,
Chelsea.
I would say.
Chelsea
Javi
were in
Simmons
for
is
him.
there. Kudus, I would say.
Javi
a couple of
Simmons
years
wanted
back.
Chelsea. Chelsea didn't want him. Don't try the Javi Simmons.
Okay,
on
but
with me.
no. But they were after him for the whole summer. They were
No,
after
they
him. A
didn't.
lot of
They
teams
didn't
were
want
after
him. If
Javi.
Chelsea had come in for Javi Simmons, even while he was in his medical, he would have joined them. Let's be real here. You guys know that Chelsea didn't go on. Go
We
in
couldn't
for
get
him.
make the
Yeah,
financials
but-
work.
but
Doesn't
Wolfie,
matter.
I can't
it
think
doesn't
of the
matter.
last player
Wolfie,
you've signed.
It's irrelevant. Wolfie, it's irrelevant. The guy Javi Simmons, he's a Dutch international. He was going to go to the World Cup. He's not a bad player.
I've got
I'm
to
not
say
saying
this
that. You're missing my point. When was the
Wolfie,
last
Wolfie.
time you beat a big 6 team for a major signing?
We don't beat big 6 teams to signings. We don't, because we
That's
don't
my
pay the
point.
money.
You're not that club. You're not that club.
I agree with you.
Gibbs White would have went there if he hadn't have stepped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eze was close. Eze was close.
Gibbs
Marinakis kidnapped
Gibbs
him.
White
That's the
accepted Tottenham's offer.
Problem is, Marinakis didn't.
He wanted to leave your shithole. He wanted to come to the
Marinakis
Europa
didn't-
League champions.
He wasn't risking his life. And
I was
his
touched a
life.
nerve here with the Gibbs White stuff, man. It's touched, especially as he's banging in goals left, right, and centre right now. Oh, boys.
Okay,
Boys,
all right. Let's answer this question then, because I think obviously this is my answer to the question that I asked. I don't think I think next season will be much the same. I think there'll be more players going unless we can find a couple of superstars within our ranks. I can see it being dwindled down because I think we're sat in. I've heard some rumours today. I won't mention them. I'll mention it off air. But I've heard some rumours today that something massive's happening at the end of today. So,
Today. Oh, wow.
yeah,
End
huge.
of today.
Huge, yeah.
Wow.
But unless something drastically changes, I think we'll be exactly where we are next year. And I've got to say this as well. And I'm going to ask this to both of you. I don't think you have to answer it too much, Wolfie. I mean, you're just sitting here as a wind-up merchant at this point. But who's better off equipped to come back up?
I
Because I think you
Wolves are-
have got a massive rebuild.
I think I would say we are, just because we do have a lot of talent potentially in our youth system that they're doing wonders out on loan at the moment. So if we can integrate them, we have in terms of the players who we can keep, I think are going to be good enough for good enough for the championship. And I think players will, even if we're looking to target good quality championship players, I think they're going to look at Tottenham thinking that's a pathway to the Premier League. Maybe I wouldn't have otherwise had. So I think we'll be better equipped, and also De Zerbi as well. I think De Zerbi's going to smash the championship. You look at what Kompany did in the championship, got 100 points, didn't he? Playing a certain brand of football. So I think De Zerbi playing his style of football should be able to be more comfortable in the championship.
But you don't know. You won't know this. We know this. People come to you as that club and they think, "Fuck this! Like, I'm going to stick the fucking boot in here. If I want to make my fucking name, these are the fucking boys I've got to beat. They're going to go big out to 2,000-seater stadium. It's like playing a cup final. We had that problem. You know, and
you had that problem, but you came straight back up, didn't you?
No,
but we had that problem and we didn't come up.
Took them 20 years to come up.
Didn't West Ham come back straight away, or was it one season?
The second time we did, but the first time we didn't. It took us 2.
It was a couple of years.
Yeah,
but you lost in the playoff final, didn't you?
We lost in the playoff final, and then we scraped the playoff final again. If you lose that, well, I think the 3 times we've had the opportunity to come up, there's been playoff finals. We haven't won the league because people come to your ground and they fucking and the playoffs have. I'll tell you what, the playoffs are nothing to be fucking. They're nothing.
They're extended next season as well. I think it's going down to 8th place, isn't it?
They're nothing to sniff at, mate. They're fucking. They're tough. And they're horrible. Horrible. You think you ain't got the bollocks right now? Get into a fucking playoff, fucking semi-final. Then you'll know what fucking suffering is all about.
I mean, we didn't get to the final in most of our playoffs. We would fuck up in the 2-leggers. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I kind of hear what you guys are saying, but I think I agree more so with Nicky. It won't surprise you. I think you're going to be everyone's cup final, assuming you do go down.
100%.
My problem is I don't know how you appease your fan base, because if you're being linked with players from Hull City and the next talent coming out of Preston North End and what have you, I think that's too big a pill for the pride of your fan base to swallow. They're still going to want to hear names that they've recognised.
I do think that's a pill that some people need to fucking hear, though, because you look at these big name signings, and we've had them, and they don't work out all the time. You know, these big name signings. Look at what we signed, right? So we signed the likes of Kudus, who was really highly touted around Europe as one of the best. Didn't work out for us really towards the end. Paquetá, who was really highly touted around Europe, could have went to anywhere. He came to us. In the end, we couldn't wait to get rid of him. Best player come from Hull City. It was Bowen. I think you need to sort of like swallow that pill sometimes and think to yourself, like, sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
I think, to be honest, I think there's an appetite for that at Tottenham right now. If we do go down,
no
one's talking about if we go down, we're still going to make big signings. We know we're not. We're aware of that. In fact, most people, one of the reasons people could stomach maybe going down is the fact that maybe some of our younger youth players will be integrated, and people are excited about the prospect of that at the very least. So I don't think people are going down expecting big signings. Obviously, in terms of your overall question, how do we satiate the fans going down? We're going to go down, we're going to get relegated, and there's going to be no satiating the fans. There's going to be no one's going to be happy with that situation. No one's going to be jumping for joy or enjoying being down there. We just have to tolerate it, I guess, for a year. But I don't think the fans are going to be. There's no like getting the fans on side after going down. Like, they're going to be angry. There'll be protests, and there'll be.
Sim,
there's not going to be happiness there.
Do you trust your hierarchy to get the right players in?
No. You could have said, "Do you trust your hierarchy?" and said anything after that. I would have said no. No,
I don't trust mine either. If you want to ask that question, I would not trust.
Well, I trust mine with my life at the moment, mate. So, sometimes
there is a lot to be said about the academy.
Your life's depending on it. That's why.
Yeah.
There is a lot to say about the academy.
You oppose him, mate.
Exactly.
So we've got a lot of talent. Mikey Moore's doing really well. He's up a young player in the SPL this season. We got Vuskovic, whether he plays for us in the Championship or not, who knows? Will Lancashire's doing so well in the Championship this season. We've got players
You
that
got
can
12
come
goals, 12 goals in the Championship.
We've
You
got
got
players
Xavi
that
on
can come in
200
and
grand a
actually
week
make a name for
next
themselves for
season.
Tottenham, and they actually care about Tottenham because they're Tottenham boys, academy players.
Well, boys, let's not look too
We've
far
got some
ahead.
great talent.
Let's not look too far ahead. Let's look at this weekend because there's interesting games coming up. Who's playing first this week? I think we're last. We got Chelsea on Monday.
It's
We
West
got- we are.
Ham, then Spurs, and then Forest. Yeah.
Bloody
Yeah,
hell, Sid,
we
you've
got
memorized.
Brentford.
You got it all locked down, Sid.
I need
So
to
West
know
Ham,
everything.
you're up first, Nicky. How are you
West Ham.
feeling about this
West Ham.
weekend? It's Brentford, isn't
Yeah,
it?
3 o'clock Saturday, mate. We go to Brentford away.
What do you think? You don't have the greatest record against Brentford, just thinking off my poor memory.
No.
Right?
I think we'll win again.
You win.
I think we'll win. I do. Well, I don't know whether it's a little bit copism or I'm just hoping rather than going with my head. But I think we'll win again. I think we're on a good run. I think we're going to get it over the line.
How do you boys see it?
My gut is telling me that West Ham are going to win. My head is telling me that it'll be a 2-2 draw and West Ham aren't going to be good enough. But I've just got this feeling in my gut that West Ham are going to do it somehow and they are going to win. And if they do win, I think we're in serious trouble. And I think that could be the killer blow if West Ham win again this weekend. But I'm going to go with my head instead of my gut. I mean, I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. And I think Brentford are the draw specialists. They were quite impressive last night. They've been impressive this season. So I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch. And I do think if West Ham win, it'll be one of those wins where you're not the better team and it's against the run of play and you just somehow win. But I do think Brentford will probably be the better team on the day. But I think it will be a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, for me, if it was at the London Stadium, I think I would have gone for a West Ham win. But I've actually seen the last two West Ham away games, and I don't think they've been impressive at all. Away at Crystal Palace and away at Aston Villa, I think it's two of your poorest performances in the last month or so. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Again, last night, Brentford put in a good display and should have taken more from the game against Manchester United. I think it's going to be a draw. I think West Ham's defence has obviously been rock solid over the past month. So I think that's going to see them through for a point. So I'm going to go 1-1, 1-1 or 0-0, one of those.
I think I tend to agree. I think Brentford away it's just a nasty ground in general. But I don't know, man. Nuno's does well against Brentford. Just thinking back to his games at Forest. So I think this one's too tight to call.
He never does well against Moyes teams, and we fucking that went out the window, didn't it? So
no, we beat Everton away under Nuno last season. Boys, my memory's so bad. I'm pretty sure we did, but look, I think a point is very good. I wouldn't turn my nose up in West Ham's situation at a point because I think you've got the hardest game of the weekend. I know you guys are going to try and sell us this story about Villa playing Forest in the Europa League beforehand, and they're going to rest players and what have you. I still think Villa's B team is better than your A team. So I don't really see that as a thing.
Probably.
And Villa at Villa Park traditionally are always quite solid. So I think West Ham getting a point if Spurs lose is a good point because that will put you 3 clear. The only worry I have for West Ham is that goal difference. That goal difference is starting to worry me a little because if at any stage Spurs can get level, that's going to become a major issue. So I think you draw, Nicky. I think Spurs will lose. And then what will happen to Spurs is it's not going to be 3 games left. You've got 2 games left because you could put yourselves at risk going into the final day of the season, 4 points adrift already relegated. That's the problem you've got. You haven't got 4 games to save this. You've got 3 games to save this.
Agreed.
I think as well, when you look at the future fixtures, Villa, I don't think you beat Villa. Leeds, I think they're gonna beat you because they've got. I was always thinking maybe if they've got the FA Cup final, they may take their eye off the ball a little bit, but they're gonna they need a win to secure. I don't know even if they win this week, it's still not mathematically. So I think I can't see you beating Chelsea, and I can't see you beating Everton. I just don't know where you're getting your points from.
If Leeds win this weekend, they'll be on 43 points. They ain't going down on 43.
But if you do, then there's still,
6 points. Yeah.
there's still 6 points. So with 9 to play for.
Yeah, if you
I
would
think if
you
we're
put
doing
that scenario out, I don't know when you play Leeds, but if the gap is 6, have you got Leeds last day or not? When
No,
we got
next
Leeds?
week.
next after Villa, West
Yeah,
Ham have a league
Nicky's
last
right.
day, yeah.
Nicky's right. There could be a scenario where you face Leeds with a 6-point gap. If you beat him, you've dragged them in down to 3 points. So I think Nicky's making a valid point there. Even if they beat Burnley this
But I
weekend.
don't think that will be the case though, because Spurs probably won't win this weekend. West Ham might not win this weekend. So if Leeds go and beat Burnley at home, then that extends the gap further than 6.
But if that happens, boy, are you guys in trouble. Like, if you don't win this weekend, you've automatically put Forest and Leeds safe by that. Pretty much.
That's
I know it's
true.
not mathematical.
But also you got to look at it like this: like if Spurs can match West Ham's result this weekend, then we go into that Leeds game. Let's assume they win, and they're
And we've got
basically
Arsenal.
safe. They're basically safe on 43. We play Leeds at home. They could potentially take their foot off the gas in that game, and they play Arsenal. So that's a big opportunity.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually agreeing with you on that. This week, I know we say it every week. This weekend's a huge weekend. It's a huge weekend.
They're all huge weekends.
If Spurs lose ground this weekend, I think it's done.
Yeah, if you
I don't
lose
know.
ground, if the gap
Four-
becomes 4, you've got 2 games
Yeah,
to
it's
save
done.
yourself,
Yeah, if it's
or you're
4,
automatically
but I
relegated.
still
Yeah.
don't think 3's enough to for peace. It's still well within.
Yeah,
the
as
grasp.
long as there's one game in it,
Yeah.
I don't think you can say it's over. But as soon as there's more than one, then I think you're in trouble. If we're doing Spurs predictions, I think my head is telling me we're probably going to lose 1-0, and Villa are going to rest players. They're going to score early. We're not going to be good enough to overcome it, and we're going to huff and puff without really doing much. Villa are going to sit back and just not really do much because they've got a semi-final to concentrate on, and it'll be a limp 1-0 loss. I've also got a part of me that feels like maybe we'll get an early goal and we'll just try and hang on to it, and then we'll succumb late on to pressure and we'll draw 1-1. Maybe that could be a possibility.
Sim, who would
I
score
think
your goal
that's what my
out of
gut's
interest?
telling me.
Who would
An
score
own
your
goal.
goal out of interest?
Own goal. So I'm going to
fucking
go.
Jao Polini or some set piece merchant.
I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to say 1-0. So we're going to somehow scrape a draw there.
I'm going to go for the same, man. I think I do think it's significant that they've got their game in between the 2 European semi-finals. Whatever you say, Wolfie, I think even if they drop off a little bit, that's just something we need because we can't play a fully flying Villa side at Villa Park. We're definitely going to lose.
Will they drop off enough is the question.
That's also a big question. Like, I agree that their second team is better than our team right now, for sure. But this game has got to mean so much more for Spurs, and we've got to turn up. We've got to find something. I think defensively we've been all right since De Zerbi has come in, so I'm going to lean on that, and hopefully we can just find some sort of set piece somewhere because we ain't scoring anywhere else.
Yeah, I think.
And what about Forest? Let's
got?
get your prediction first, Paul.
Well, I was just going to say on the Spurs one, I think you probably lose. I don't think it'll be a big one. Like you say, even if Forest slap Villa up 3 or 4-0, which I can't see, Villa and they don't rotate, their players will still be carrying a bit of tiredness from that game. So I think you probably lose, but tightly, 1-0, something like that. A proper kind of Villa Park performance. With Forest against Chelsea, I honestly think it depends what happens to your games. I look at this and think it's actually probably beneficial to us that we're playing on Monday because we can see how the land lies. If you guys have both shit the bed and lost, we can rest our players against Chelsea. I don't know if Pereira will do that, but that would be my logical thinking on it. We haven't lost at Stamford Bridge since we've been back. Chelsea are shit. Don't give me this new manager with no license think is going to save them. I think we get a point out of Stamford Bridge, and that takes us to 40. So I'm not worried yet about the Chelsea game till I've seen your guys' results. If you guys haven't taken maximum points like this weekend, then I think Forest will turn up with a slightly
so
rested
Wolfie,
team.
if we do beat Villa, you're still slightly worried. You're saying you're not completely out of it.
Well,
Just saying
yeah,
if we go
I've
and
seen
beat Villa.
Forest do dumber things than this in my lifetime, man. I can take you back just a few years ago when we shit the bed against Stoke when we were in the playoffs. So I've seen Forest do dumber things than this. So yeah, I just need
Yeah,
Spurs to be
you're
dumber
also
than
in the
Forest.
top 4 all season last year as
Top
well.
three, yeah. Yeah, you can
Top
go back
three,
to last
yeah.
season, yeah. So I'm more expecting you lot to save Forest than the other way around because I do worry when it comes
Fair.
to Forest at the end of seasons. But I think we'll get a draw at Stamford Bridge. That puts us to 40, and that's that psychological number, isn't it, that everyone thinks is safe. So, but yeah, I think whoever ends up in the bottom 3 this weekend, they're staying there for the rest of the season.
Fair. There we go. Shall we wrap it up then, boys?
Wait, so are we saying? What do you think of Forest beating Chelsea?
I think it does very much depend on what happens before. If it goes on my predictions and West Ham draw, Spurs draw, I think Forest might end up drawing as well, and it will just be as you were. I'm going to go for a Forest draw 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. I think the fact that it's Monday, it helps you in a weird way.
Is it Monday 3:00?
Yeah, 3:00 on Monday.
That's a weird time.
Yeah, it's bank holiday, isn't it? So,
but I think in a weird way, it might work against you, even though it's further away from the previous Thursday. It's also closer to the second Thursday, which I think if the game results are within the balance, there will be half an eye on that, and I think Chelsea will take advantage. So I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. But if we draw, it's not going to make too much difference to you. Or if we lose.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, after this Saturday, boys, I'll be coming to you live next week from Tunisia. So I'm going to
Tunisia.
He's running.
Regardless of
running.
running away.
He's getting out of the country.
He didn't want to be in the country for that Arsenal game. He's run.
No, I'll be back. I'll be back for the Arsenal game. But yeah, so there we go. Thank you very much for joining us, boys. Do you all want to say goodbye? Wolfie, you're meant to be hosting this, mate.
Apologies,
like
man.
you're having a relegation
The
battle.
whole network went down in my area. It's crazy, so I don't even know if it's back up yet. But make sure you've all subscribed to everyone's channels. Let us know who you think's going down and your results for this weekend's fixtures. And hit that hype button. This new hype thing, I don't know what it is, but apparently you meant to do something with it. And we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. Let's see who's crying. Yeah.